It's been 4 months since the outbreak first hit. But it's felt like a lifetime. In order to keep as many people safe as possible, the military have turned subway stations into refugee camps. They plan to extract each camp until they have extracted every living person in the infected area. Today, our group is being extracted.
Mom, where are we going?
Somewhere safe, Cody.
Will Dad be there?
I hope so.
Cody, get behind me! Mom!
Go on, get out of here!
That car! Come on. Please work. Yes! At that moment, all I could think of was, I have to get home.
So day one of our adventure in Undying, it started out, as typical games start. You learn about all the mechanics and such and how to survive. This one is a little interesting because not only do you have to, of course, watch your food, health, water, and all that, but you also get to upgrade parts of your house, which is like workbenches or medical benches or places like a table to upgrade your weapons or fix them. But you also, on top of all that, have your son Cody, who you also have to watch for all of his vitals, and then you also have to teach him life skills. For example, if you want to make medicine, you have to make it yourself and then also have him close by you to teach him how to use it. And after you do it so many times, he learns how to do it himself. So then he can actually do it himself without you needing to do anything. So he can help out in however ways you want him to. And that also extends to fighting and resource collecting and all that. It's a really interesting little mechanic there, I thought. So after figuring out all the little mechanics and stuff, we first step we did was we ventured outside just to see what the heck was going on and to start resource collecting. We found a whole lot of stuff, but we did find our neighbor next door, whose name is Mary. She is younger. Her name is Mary, and she sounds younger from what the contact clues say. Cody asked if she wanted to move in with us, but she declined, saying that she's just going to stay there at her house and wait for her parents to come home because she is all alone currently. And then she also asks for some water because she is thirsty, which I had a few on hand, so I went ahead and gave her some. And then in return, she gave us some seeds, which was nice, so hell yeah. And then the story says, she might need your help in the future, so I guess that's something to keep in mind. After we helped Mary, we just kind of piddle-farted around, collected more resources, just looking around the neighborhood more. But then we went back home, and we went into our backyard to see what was going on back there, and we found a zombie that was just trapped in a bear trap, which was great because it gave me the opportunity to figure out how the combat system worked. And not only that, but when I defeated the zombie, it also gave the mom character a chance to say, hey, you know what, Cody? My son Cody, it's time you learn to protect yourself. So we found a slingshot by the swing set, and he got some target practice in before we went back inside. And then we found out our TV kind of worked for like a split second, which is great because if there's still news, we know what's going on because the world is going downhill right now. But the circuit breaker broke, but we do know our neighbor, John, who lives on a farm, has all kinds of spare circuit breakers. So the next step in this little journey was to fix our car that we had and then drive on over to the farm and get a circuit breaker. So we arrived at John's farm, and but John wasn't there. Instead of John, it was some dude named Bill who had a pretty nasty attitude. I didn't really like it, so I kind of fought back a little bit. I honestly didn't think it would like immediately start a fight, but it did. So I'm not stupid. I backed off a little bit. He had a fucking gun. I have a baseball bat. I don't think I win that one. Call me crazy. But I backed off, and I was kind of tempted to try and sneak back in, but just before I could find a way in, my screen had... I don't know, my character just had a heart attack or what, because there's a picture of a heart on my screen, and it does not look good. So, not really sure what to do. I decided to go home, and that's when I found out it's called a weakened state in this game between the hours of 12 and 2. I guess you have a little mini heart attack, and you can possibly lose control of your character and turn into a zombie. So, to avoid that, you have to go to bed, and you sure shit, that's what I did. I went to bed. After my little scare with the heart attack stuff, I went back to the farm and said, whatever, all or nothing, gotta go get it. If I die, I die, I guess. But, luckily, one, wasn't a good shot. He didn't really hit me at all whatsoever. And two, the one time he did shoot me, he only did like 4 damage or something. It really wasn't much. And honestly, I thought I would just beat him up enough to where he'd surrender and then just talk to me, like calm down. But my character doesn't really know restraint too well, because let's just say she beat him up pretty good. Damn, I beat his ass. After that, I found out through his wife that John was locked up in the barn. We go in there to find out why, and he is turned into a zombie as we walk in on him eating his dead wife's body. So we relieve him of his issues, and then head back to the barn, talk to the girl again. We decide to let her keep the barn, because why not, I guess. And in return, she not only gives us the circuit board that we're looking for, but also says that if we visit periodically, we get 2 free potatoes. Which is a pretty sweet deal. So you can't really go wrong with that. Before deciding to head back to the house to fix the TV, I decided to go investigate a random location right next to the barn. And it spawned me into a wide open area where it looks like a little campsite where a bunch of survivors are just hanging out, having a good time. When suddenly I found my first special type of zombie, which was a giant inflated zombie in a giant teddy bear costume, which really caught me off guard. There was no need to worry, because the groups of survivors just took good care of it. Didn't have to do anything. And Cody tried to help, but he was busy fighting a tree. He's a little confused. Yeah, it's alright, he's stressed out, but I thought that was pretty funny. It was then also that I found out when these giant special teddy bear zombies were defeated, they exploded into harmful gas. Anyway, after that, we went back home, fixed the TV, found out there were talks of an evacuation happening on September 26th, which apparently was 57 days from today. It's both a whole lot and not a lot at the same time, but we decided that we needed to find more information by talking to more survivors in the nearby areas to see if we can't find anything more about this evacuation. It was at this point where I decided to try and go to the Alaskan supermarket. But fate had other plans at the moment. Oh. Well, if I could... that puts a kibosh on that one. I'm cool with that. Up until this point, I figured this was going to be the loop of the game, but after going to sleep this night, the game introduced a new system called the symptom system, where you get your choice of a few different little symptoms, which both have a minor buff, but a bigger debuff that lasts anywhere between a few hours to most of the day. Damn. So, for example, my very first symptom that I chose was I'd have the debuff of every symptom that I have. I would receive extra 5% damage whenever I take damage, but I have the little perk of getting 150 plus
good, or is that bad?
to the recovery effects of drinking dirty water and eating raw meat, and that will last for 12 hours. After selecting my symptoms and running around collecting more resources where I could find them, I went back to the supermarket, and I found a woman that was hiding under one of the cars that I siphoned gas from. Her name was Diana, and she let me know of a place just off to the west where there was a group of survivors hanging out around a campground that I could go to if I wanted to go either see them or even move in with them for helping her out. So that's something that definitely I put on my radar for sure. Before heading out to the survivor campground, I went to the downtown district to check out what was going on down there. And I found a store with a zombie hiding in one of the lockers, which was interesting. And then I also found a cute little kitty cat, which is cool because if you feed him, he actually gives you items in return. That's just so fucking cool. But one of the problems I started coming up across with all this looting is I don't have all that much backpack space. So
Too much shit. I need a better backpack, man.
I did eventually make my way to the survivor camp, but the guy at the gate wouldn't open it unless I agreed to trade him some liquor, which just seemed a little weird, even though because I was already invited, you know, and I just got some weird vibes from it, so I decided just to ignore it for now and not really worry about it. After I decided not to go into the camp, I went home and took a nap, and that's when my character had a dream about dead family members, which was wild. And then just before ending my day, I was about ready to go back to bed, and I got a phone call from Jacob, which is the main character's husband and Cody's dad.
Jacob.
He was basically just calling to warn us that it was dangerous to go outside and, you know, not to do that and just protect yourself and Cody. I continued to look around the downtown area, and then I went into a garage where a gang member found me and threatened me with he threatened to take all my stuff or kill me. And to hell with that, I worked hard for my stuff, so I chose to fight, and luckily for me, I already know that guns in this universe aren't that strong, so of course I beat him up with my trusty baseball bat. No issues whatsoever.
Cool game.
And that was pretty well the gist of day one. Things, you know, weren't going too bad. I had plenty of food, gas, water. Things weren't too tough. Not yet, anyway. Day 2 was a little bit slower in terms of any notable events happening, but a few things still did happen. I did finally get out to the supermarket where I found another survivor that was hidden in the back room, who wouldn't come out until I killed all the zombies first in the store, so that's what I did. After killing all the zombies, I went inside the room and talked to the man, and it turns out his name is Sean, and he was with us at some point during the intro. Well, not technically in the intro, but you know, he was in that area with the tunnel and when it collapsed. But anyway, he told us that there is a laboratory with a possible cure to my disease up north from this area, which is really great because, you know, that's where I'm heading next. And in return, he asked, you know, since he helped me, if he could have a gun, so I went ahead and gave him that because he gave me some really good information. That's pretty much all that really happened at the supermarket anyway. I did go home, and
Come back and,
embarrassingly enough, I finally, because I was struggling earlier on, I finally figured out how to get clean water in this game. Do you boil it like in real life? Who would have thought? Crazy.
water.
What? I could have made clean. Oh my god. So after that insane revelation with the water, I went back to sleep to end the night, and then when I woke up, the game decided to tell me, hey, zombies are actually getting tougher and the survivors are getting a little more hostile, which is great. But not only that, the power in my house actually went out. So there's actually a generator out in your backyard that you have to go to to shove gas in it to have electricity. And surprise, surprise, it takes a shit ton of gas to even get it full. It's crazy. Well, after this, I decided to go to the national park where I had my life saved by a man named Chris. After talking to Chris for a quick second, he mentioned that he lost his camera across the river, which is great, because guess who's going to have to go get it? Yep, us. So we go do that. Before I went to go grab the camera for Chris, I went ahead and decided to go back to the survival campground because I found out I had a bunch of liquor on me while out adventuring. So I gave the dude at the gate the liquor. He let me in. I said hi to Diana, who just kind of told me about, you know, the camp in general and about a girl in the camp named Lila, who is, I guess, one of the only kids there who kind of feels out of place, and they have some kind of like love-hate relationship and she feels bad for her, so she wants me to give her some treats and go talk to her and, you know, see how she is doing. After talking to Layla for a while, she just talks about kind of like how she really likes canned food and how she'll trade secrets that she knows about for canned food. And not only that, but she also hints at the fact that she really doesn't like being in this place, and she feels like the pastor, who is the leader of this religious group, by the way, is up to something nefarious. Something's not right. Something's going on. After hanging out with Diana and Layla for a while at the campground, I went back to the national park to help Chris find his camera. I came across a few tents where I found a pamphlet for a carnival, as well as Chris's camera. And when I gave it back to him, he told me a story about how he used to be in the safe zones, but that he wasn't really keen on living that lifestyle because he wanted to just live off the land. And before he left the safe zones for the land, you know, he took a picture with a medical team who apparently is the main character's husband's occupation. So she was curious if maybe he took a photo with somebody named Jacob, which he said he didn't really know, but if he were to find she were to find a photo that he lost, maybe she would find the answers she was looking for. And then he told her to avoid the road not too far from here because it's extremely dangerous, but you know, put two and two together, that's where we're going to look for the photo. And so concluded yet another day in our adventure in Undying. Things are still going pretty good, but little did I know from here on out things would get far, far worse. Before things got too crazy, however, we started the day by going over to the highway that we were told about just the day before. And of course there were a lot of zombies. Dangerous, as he said. But we found a guy hiding in a minecart, and we went ahead and killed the zombies around him to help save him. And his way of saying thank you was to start shooting at me and my son. So I had, you know, we had to beat a little sense into him, which upon beating his ass, he told us he was part of the Ironback gang.
Are you fucking
And that
serious?
his boss named Boss Bear told him that he has to deliver gas masks to another member of the gang named Tiger, because they are going down to a facility that's surrounded by gas, and it's the exact spot where the supposed zombie vaccine is. So thankfully, in return for us not killing him, he tells us exactly where the spot is, and that is next on my to-do list. There wasn't really much else here on the highway other than I found a woman on the side of the road who was very rough shape. She was cold and hungry, and upon saving her, she told us about a mine close by where we could possibly find more supplies. Upon going to the mine after this, we found a guy chained up to a forklift, and he mentioned that he has a friend inside the mine that was also taken. So we go in there and save him, and he's an older dude. I honestly thought maybe we'd just have a quick escort mission back to go save the dude that was chained up because the old man had the key, but for some reason he wanted to fight absolutely every single zombie in the way, so we had to do that. And by the time we got to the other guy who was chained up, he already somehow freed himself anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal. After all that, I decided to head back home for a quick second to turn in all my resources that I have to free up some backpack space, and I found more zombies were populating my backyard that I had to get rid of. And after getting rid of them, I went ahead and headed out to the factory to see if I couldn't find that antidote. And I found the gang, the Ironback gang, and I gave the gas mask to Tiger when I found him. And he mentioned that if I were to help him right now by going into the factory that they are just outside of to find the antidote for him, that he will take me to a police station where the gang is being held up for some food. This whole thing felt pretty sketchy, so before I did that, it was getting late. I went ahead and started to head home before it was too late and my character started flipping out again. But when I went to sleep, my character flipped out anyway, lost control, and I think just beat the shit out of Cody. I'm not really sure.
Mom!
But anyway, sick now. He's in bed, so I'm on my own for a bit, and I have to choose between two major permanent perks, a thing called a decline event. I had to choose between Will, which is when I'm in a weakened state, my attack power changes by -60, but damage received is decreased by 40%, or choose the Mad option and only consume rotten foods, raw meat, and dry or dirty water, and the recovery effects are 300%. Oh, and just when you thought that was enough, now I gotta choose 2 symptoms at the same time every night. With Cody stuck in bed and me on my own, I decided I needed to hurry up and make some moves because I felt like at this point I was really running out of time here. I headed back to the factory to see what I could find inside the facility to help out Tiger so I can get to this police station he's talking about. Didn't find too much right off the bat. Mainly, I discovered that there are red-eyed glowing zombies now in the gas, and they're much faster than regular zombies, but they were still fairly easy to take out, so I didn't really have too much trouble there. It was getting late again, however, so I didn't really get to find too much in there. I did have to dip and go back home before I flipped out. Once I got back home and went upstairs, I found out Cody was actually feeling better, and he was now a part of my team again, which was great. I did go to bed afterwards, and Jacob called again, just saying he was trapped in a car for 3 days, nothing too much. And then also zombies are now breaking down my barriers on my windows, which is just great. More stuff that I have to worry about. Awesome. Love that. And, you know, not only that, but on top of all that, zombies are getting even more dangerous, and survivors are getting even more resilient. Love it.
This is stressful.
After receiving all that lovely news about all these continuous debuffs that keep stacking upon each other every night, I went ahead and fixed my window that was broken, and then the first thing I did was go back to the factory, and there was one final room in that factory that I needed to go to. And when I got in there, I found a bunch of like freaky looking bugs, which I've never seen before, but luckily they weren't like super dangerous or anything, pretty easy to kill. And then I found a man that was sitting in a chair in one of the rooms that I had to unlock. He was just some old dying dude who told me that the antidote has already been taken and moved to a different location, so there's really nothing left there. And he just told me to let everybody know it's not safe to be here and just get the fuck out of here. I told everybody what happened. We went back in because there was one final door right next to the entrance to open up. I opened it up to see what may have been in there, and a bunch of zombies were in there. And when Tiger found out, he flipped out. He left with one of his friends and then left the rest of us to die, basically. So we had a pretty big battle between the gangs and the zombies. We fought that out. We won, obviously, because I'm there. Once we survived fighting the zombies, we found a note inside the room. It just basically said that they were testing the antidote, and they said it was, although unstable, it was proving some successes. Although half of the patients that were given the antidote also died within 2 weeks, so you know it's still in the works, but it is showing some promise. But after I exited the facility, I found Tiger talking to that one dude he left with, and they were pretty much just pissed off at their captain, Baird, whatever. And they pretty much plotted revenge before they just left. And then after this, I went to the carnival, which I found at the one campsite when I was giving that guy back his camera. And I'm just going to kind of glaze over this for the most part, because I didn't really have time to divulge too deep into this story. But there were 2 people there, a child and like his mom. We went inside a haunted house, which we found out Luckily, there was 2 entrances because somebody blocked the one that we entered initially, and we never really did find out who. But in that haunted house, it was kind of cool because it was like a maze, and after a couple minutes or so, it would just like change. So like the layout of the interior would just change. The maze would change. It would change. In there, we found a clown with a chainsaw. Dude dressed up as a clown with a chainsaw. We helped him out, and we got his chainsaw after helping him. But the one thing about this game that I really hated was every time you got a new weapon from somebody, it was always in like piss poor condition, about ready to break. Every single item. I really did not like that, but it is what it is. I went back home after doing all that, and Jacob called again. Nothing really too much. Just kind of reconnecting again. My Windows broke again, and then I decided to go back to the mines real quick to find a pickaxe because it was on my list of quests to do. And when I found a pickaxe, I also found Mary's dad, who was our neighbor, if you remember, that I gave water to. But he turned into a zombie, so we had to kill him. And honestly, that was pretty much the end of that day. To start off the next day of this adventure, I went off to the beach that I had recently discovered. I didn't really get to do much though, because one of the debuffs I had to select the morning of was a damage reduction debuff, and it hurt pretty bad to where the point of my level 3 baseball bat that I upgraded earlier on pretty much did absolutely nothing for damage, so I just went ahead and went home. But before I did that though, I got to lead a little conga line, which was kind of fun. But after that, I went home, came back, found the hotel manager, and he asked me to check on all of the tenants that he had. Searched rooms 1 and 2, and I found out both of the tenants were stabbed to death. And then I had a little scare of my own. My heart thing started again, so I went home, you know, like normal. But this time it kind of progressed a little bit more than usual.
No. No, I can't sleep! Fucking sleep! I don't have medicine either. If I go outside and try to get those antibiotics, would it save me? I can't even... Oh.
I honestly thought I was going to die because it wouldn't let me do anything, but luckily it let me live a little bit. But, of course, the very next day, more of my windows got busted. So I'm not out of the woods. Because at this point, it makes 2 windows that are busted, and I don't really have the resources to repair them right now, so I'm kind of stuck with having just to leave them open. I went back to the national park to check on Chris and maybe grab some food, but I found out that he was dead in his bus. So the only thing I could really do is just took his stuff that he obviously wouldn't really need anymore. I was going to go to the beach, but there was a warning saying there was a horde occurring there, and also at the survivor campground, so I was kind of worried that they also might have died. I also found more zombies in my backyard, not fun. I fixed one of the windows that was broken, but the very same night, it just got broken again. And also, on top of that, guess what? Zombies are getting even worse, and survivors are getting even more on edge. Yet again. I wanted to go back to the east, but there was still a horde there, but after everything that's been happening, with the zombies getting worse and all that, and my windows getting broken in, I didn't really have time to waste, so I went through there anyway. Luckily, I was able to pretty well dodge most of them, and then the landlord told me to search rooms 3 and 4. Number 3 had a zombie in it, which I had to kill, and then number 4 had an old woman just kind of chilling there, which was fine. After that, I got to meet the manager in room 5, and then he told me I got to meet the manager, and then in room 5, there was a note by somebody that used to live there about a hidden laboratory, which is the one that actually I am looking for, that I need to learn more about this cure, which is fantastic. A little light at the end of the tunnel for me, if you will, because I was definitely losing a bit of hope here. Went back home, fixed one of the windows, but one was still broken, of course, and when that happens, zombies can come in, and they did just that, and they broke my stove. So I had to go kind of just deal with that. Afterwards, I checked on Mary, just because I haven't seen her in a while, and she was not there. All that was there was just a photo that she left behind of her and her parents. And then I also checked on the guy at the store because Mary and Chris are both dead. I want to see what he was doing, and he's not there either. And the place is all pretty much been looted. Not only that, but it's covered in gas and vines that popped up out of the ground. So the zombies, of course, are faster. And one thing I didn't know until too late was the vines can actually grab you and just toss you around. This is probably the worst day we've ever had. Both me and Cody just about died here. Was not a good day. They're nearly dying. I decided to go back to the survivor camp to see if there is any way I can advance the story a little bit to hopefully get out of here before it is too late. There was a quest to fix the fence that they had. I went ahead and did that. But when I had to go home that night, the zombies came back into my house because I couldn't fix the window yet, and they broke my sink, which supplied me with fresh water every now and again. That kind of sucked. I helped out with a book and canned food. There was another quest there that I had to do back at the survivor camp. And then went back home, slept again, and it was this night though, with all the stressors building up, that things got a little tense at the house. There's a this point in the story where Cody just kind of woke up one night and started talking to me about how it was almost his birthday coming up. And for whatever reason, the mom just absolutely flips shit. Says, how can you be thinking about your birthday at this time when we're trying to survive? Quit acting like... Basically, she said straight up, quit acting like a fucking kid. Grow up or we're gonna die. And of course, that obviously upset him. He ran away crying. And when I say ran away, he legitimately ran away. So I had to go find him. I tried my absolute best. I searched around the neighborhood and even at the national park, and during that dialogue he did mention how they used to celebrate his birthdays at the national park. Didn't find him there either. Went home because I was running out of time. Almost turned into a zombie again, and then this scene came out of nowhere.
Oh no. No. Did I not find him fast enough? You can look. You still have time to look. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Cody!
Maybe I should have checked his room this whole time. God damn.
I thought that maybe I'd just have more time to find him later. But no, your character almost kills themselves, and now Cody has a gun. And the crazy part is you straight up tell him that there's a bullet in it and to use it wisely, which is a little crazy.
What the fuck? Here, Cody, have a gun. Kill yourself if you need to.
But that ended up day 4. Day 4 was a little wild, not gonna lie. Start out day 5. I was trying to find out which place would be best to go because I'm trying to advance the story before I run out of time. Decided to go to the survivor campground because the mines were still being surrounded by hordes of zombies. Talked to Diana, found out she got injured real bad, so I had to give her a first aid kit, and I guess she found some teddy bears while she was on her adventure before she got hurt. So I gave one to Lila and talked to her for a bit, and then I had to go talk to the preacher who was the leader of the whole campground. And I gave him some junk, just kind of like a peace offering to get in his good graces so that we can maybe possibly move here. And then after that I went to sleep, and Jacob called again that night, and they were basically just talking about how they're really hoping they could reunite soon before too much longer, and that he's still okay and all that. And then we went back to camp the following morning, but they were praying, and that apparently that was, you can't do anything when they do that, you just have to kind of leave. Whatever, I guess. I wanted to go to the mine, but it was too dangerous, so I just went ahead and headed home and waited out the day with not much to really show for it. The following day, I decided to go back to the camp to see if I can't continue what was going on there, and I found it engulfed by the poisonous gas.
That's not good at all.
I tried my best to see if I couldn't like warn the people that, you know, this shit was dangerous and they better, you know, get the hell out of here, but they were still praying, so could not do anything. That shit is taken very seriously here. Didn't yet again have anything to do but to just go home and wait yet another day. And then when I got home, I found out somebody tried to rob us because one of my windows were broken again. But luckily, they weren't able to take anything this time. It was at this point when I found out you can not only get attacked by zombies, but you can also get robbed. That I tried to chop down some trees to get some wood to try to repair the windows. But I ran out of time because fuck me. But on the plus side, I went back to the camp and the gas was gone. Or I talked to the pastor again. He was about ready to agree to give me some resources for helping him out earlier by giving him stuff. But before we could go into his tent, that drunk guy that wouldn't let me in unless I gave him wine kind of ruined everything by making a mess on my shirt and made our character feel unsafe, so we went home. Where we got robbed this time for real. Not much to really do about it. Still starving. I had to make a quick run to the farm to meet that one chick who gives me free potatoes. I got 2 potatoes. One for me, one for Cody. It's all we got to survive. We gotta make do with what we got. Went back to the camp afterwards, and Diana is missing. And Lila thinks that the pastor may have actually took her into his tent and killed her because she saw her go in there, but she never saw her come out. So it's at this point in the story where you have to try to sneak into his little tent, but you have to wait until they're praying. So I had to wait a little bit. I went to the door when they started praying it, and I realized, oh, you also gotta have a fucking lockpick on you, which I didn't have. So I had to go home, quickly get a lockpick. Finally got into his little house. While investigating his little area, I found traces of blood. And luckily, I found a bunch of food that really helped us not, starve to death. And a gun. And found the little hidden compartment where Diana might be hidden. So at this point, I knew that this could probably be, like, going down these steps there's a chance it'd be my last thing I'd ever do in this. But I didn't have a choice. Again, I don't really have any food. I didn't have any more gas. So I just had to keep going. I went down there, found a bunch of dead bodies, found out Diana is indeed dead. They tried to turn her into meat. We fought the pastor a little bit, had a little trial. I decided to go ahead and just exile. You get the choice between exiling him or killing him. I just went ahead and chose the exile. Fuck, I don't know, man. And then we finally found the location of the secret lab just as I was losing all fucking hope in this goddamn game. There's hope. It's like a fucking movie, dude, like where you feel like you've lost all hope and everything's just gonna end, and all of a sudden something great happens that could change everything. So as I stated in the previous day, I was running out of pretty much all my supplies, but today I remembered I can take the gas out of the generator that I have in the backyard. I forgot I can do that. So at least I am good on gas for now. Threw that puppy in the car, drove straight to the secret lab, and I just kind of walked around the outside because the front door was shut, and I found a note by a dead body that said that there is an evacuation. It had evacuation details in a police station.
To the police station!
I immediately left, went home, and I was about to go to the police station, but had to go to bed because it was too fucking late. Jacob called again. He said that he was almost home, actually. He was just in a nearby forest and he needed help getting out. So you get teleported immediately into that forest and you find a bloody family photo of you and Jacob and Cody. And I'm not really sure what all happened. Basically, he's dead, I guess. I don't know if he was dead this whole time and she was just imagining the phone calls, or if he actually called her and then died, but wanted to say goodbye in the woods. I don't know, but anyway, I guess we just say he's dead. Of course, it stresses out your character. She passes out home, and you wake up in a crazy little university area thing where you gotta choose. Basically, you gotta make one more final decision, and it's between just kind of taking a back seat and letting Cody be the main character, but also having all the NPCs and stuff be fearful and hateful towards your character because she's more of a zombie at that point. Or you can just say nut up and shut up and get back up and just kind of tough it out, you know, one last time. You stay the main character, but that comes at the cost of only being able to live for a certain amount of time, which is less than what you would originally get if you just play the game without that choice, if that makes sense. I went ahead and chose to wake up balls to the wall. I gave myself less time. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. The way I saw it was I'm gonna, you know, I gotta push through anyway. I can't dilly-dally no matter which one I pick, so I said fuck it. Well, we're in it to win it, so I went to the police station after all that. Found a new character named Joan shooting somebody. She's, I don't know. I didn't like her character too much. I didn't really care. Finally met the boss, Bear. I'm just gonna call him BB. Finally met him. Pretty much got deemed to be a cook for a while, just to kind of make food for everybody and dish out dishes for everybody, including BB. One thing I didn't know at this point though was when you feed BB, you're supposed to like bribe him with items to make him talk to you about the evacuation. Because if you don't, then all he does is just tell you to get out of there once you give him his food. I didn't know that for like the first day or two, maybe 3 days, which sucks because that's wasted time. But I did eventually find out, and I gave him all the best items I could just to hopefully speed it up in some way. Eventually I did get him to finally tell me the heck is going on. But of course, the crazy shitty thing is that he told me it's gonna take a couple more days before we can actually figure something out. But then, if you remember Tiger, he eventually came back finally at this point and decided to start an all-out war right there in the police station. BB killed Tiger, and then Joan and his friend killed each other, and I was forced to blow a hole in the wall in the police station to get the hell out of there. And made it to my car, and BB sacrificed himself. Cool, whatever. Didn't really like BB either. But he's dead. So pretty much everybody's dead at this point. But he did, before he died, he did tell me the final fucking location of where I actually gotta go to get the hell out of here. And that is at a nearby prison. So that's exactly where I went. I got to the prison immediately. I had to fight off some zombies because they were under attack. And then before I progress any further, I had to fix a couple of barricades. Bro, I have 7 hours left to live at this point, and he wants me to fucking fix barricades. Like, goddamn. So I had to go back the fuck home to get some wood to fix the fucking barricades before he finally let me in prison to see this guy I gotta fucking talk to get the hell out of here and not die. I made it through the prison a little bit of ways. I found like a little area where there's a bunch of like prison cells that had zombies in them. I had not even a minute, not even an hour left to live at this point, so I just kind of knew I wasn't gonna get out of here at this point. I just said one more final goodbye to Cody, and since all the other zombies are locked in the cells, I went ahead and just locked myself in the cell as well. No harm, no foul. I did officially finally die. I did not make it, even though I was so unbelievably close to getting through the game. But at least I can say at least Cody had possibly a chance to survive, so I guess it's not all horrible. Just a little rough, just a little rough. And that was my adventure in Undying. Well, I guess I was being a little too hopeful with the whole 5-day time limit. I should have just probably should have let Cody take the reins. I didn't realize the fucking end of the game would just be constant fucking waiting, so you know, I guess I should have expected it to some degree. I made the wrong choice. It happens. You live and you learn. That's just unfortunate, because I'm sure I was right there at the end too. And that was the longest one I've done. That's a little bit of a bummer. But I'll just have to take this loss and learn from it and hopefully do better next time in whatever the next adventure is. So.